Hello, hello, my beautiful Virgos. How are you, my gorgeous ones? So, this is going to be your forecast for November. I am going to put a little bit of astrology in here. I won't do too much, but I'll explain some of the things. So, I did want to remind everybody before for this video, I did a Halloween special. It was to thank my YouTubers and all my social media. So I have a special going on till October 31st, through October 31st, for a 60-minute tarot. I'm sorry, I keep saying that. Sorry. 30-minute tarot readings at $60, and then 60 minutes to 1 hour for $120. That's a deep discount. I've never done a special before. I'm doing this to thank everybody because we've grown this channel to like almost 19,000 in less than 3 months. So I just want to say thank you. I don't know that I'll bring this special back because it was my first one anyway. It's just to thank everybody. I don't even offer 30-minute tarot reading as a service anymore. So, if you're going to see me, if you wanted to see me, if you can see me, now would probably be the time. And you have till the 31st. Also, a lot of people ask me about the cards and like the salt baths that I use and the gels and stuff that I use. I have my own Amazon page, and so all the links are down below in the description box. You can look at that. And I am going to talk about the full moon and the new moon a little bit. So I did a new moon steps to take to sort of set your intention and sort of get that space available. So you can look at that video. I'll probably release another one like that, but I am going to do a full moon steps to take, or ritual, however you want to call it. Some people call it different things. So I'll be releasing that when I get all the videos for the monthlies out. Okay. So, let's get started. So we have this beautiful full moon and new moon. So we always have those, but this month's very important because it's on that point where the eclipse was, right? So that means it's reactivating this stuff for you guys. And if you haven't seen the eclipse video that I did for Virgo, you might want to go look at that. And then we have Jupiter that's moved into Scorpio, so that's expanding that house for you. So we have blessings and we have expansion going on in there and growth. And then, Jupiter's the teacher, but it wants to bless you. It wants to give you physical manifestations and things around you. So you can check that video out too. I have that in the description link down below as well. All right, so we have this full moon in Taurus going on November 4th and 5th, 4th or 5th, not 4th and 5th, 4th or 5th, depending on where you are in the world. I was going to say the universe, in the world. And so what's Taurus about? Taurus is an earth sign like you. Taurus likes beauty and luxury and comfort and routine around them, right? And they love tactile, physical manifestations. So with this full moon being in Taurus, this is telling me the full moons mean completions, manifestations, things coming into your life of what you've worked on. It's like the completion of some things. But it also means letting go. And the reason, letting go of some things, and the reason I say this, and I've said this in all my videos, I'll try to say them in every one, is because in our energetic field, in our wholeness, right, we can accept and have unlimited amounts of energy run through us, right? But here in this, on this earth, in this resonance and in our frequency, we can only have so much energy that runs through us in our physicalness, right? And that's kind of the world that you create around you, the relationships you have, the situations, the things, that's what that is. That's energy running through you. It's your world you're creating, right? So what happens is, if you have things that you've kept, if you have things that you've held on to, if you have old trauma, if you have things you can't get through or get over, or maybe you're holding on to a relationship that doesn't need to be held on to, maybe you're holding on to a job, whatever this is for you, and this is for everyone. If you hold on to that, you're holding on to that energy, and so your blessings can't come in, your manifestations can't come in. So those things that you're trying to work on, if you don't have room in your energetic field, it's not going to come in. It's just not enough room. So that's what's so beautiful about this full moon. This full moon is giving you a chance with the energies, with the planets, the way that they're aligned and everything's right, is giving you a sort of way to come through and let go of that energy so that you can have your blessings come in, Make sense? So that's why I want to do the full moon video about how to release and what to do for that, okay? So with Taurus being with the full moon being in Taurus, it wants to bring these physical manifestations for you. And although for a lot of people I've been seeing, like, you know, the money issue and the work and the life purposes and stuff, I'm seeing a lot of romance for you guys. I've seen a lot of, like, yeah, romance. Like, it's time to have your partner. It's time to, like, smile again. It's time to do that for you. So, and the reason I say this is because in Virgo, so for Virgos, the full moon in Taurus is going to be in your ninth house. And then the sun opposing is going to be in your fifth house. And then Neptune is going to be in your seventh house. Now, the moon and Neptune are doing a sextile, right? So what does a sextile mean? It means that they're looking at each other, kind of having a conversation. And what it'll cause you to do is it'll cause you to take action for a positive outcome, right? So that's kind of what Neptune and the moon are doing. And it's going on the eclipse point, which means it reactivates that house, that ninth house. So this is about your beliefs, your higher learning, what it is that you're trying to accomplish here, your belief system, right? So with Neptune being in your seventh house, and so Neptune, the sun, and the moon are trining. So the moon and Neptune are sextiling. So they're having this conversation, but the sun, the moon, and Neptune are trining. So trining is a beautiful energy that sort of helps elevate, helps expand, helps bring things forth, right? And so with this full moon, like on the November 4th or 5th, and for fixed signs, you're going to feel this full moon for a month. But if you're not a fixed sign, you'll feel it for about 2 weeks, okay? So you could have things coming in even after the full moon for like the next 2 weeks, depending on what you've let go, depending on what you're running through your energy. That kind of depends on you, your aspect, right? So what's the ninth house about? It's about your belief system. It's about, you know, what I believe to be true, and it's about your higher learning. It's about, like, it's got Saggy in there. So Sagittarius is all about the adventure of bringing the unknown to the known. And that's what this ninth house is about. That's what this full moon is about for you. It's like letting go of what no longer serves you with this full moon in there, and then understanding what does serve you, what is that you want your life to be about, what is your belief system, you know, in comparison to what society says or your family says or your friends or whatever, right? What is it that you're understanding about it? What's your belief, right? So it looks like something's going to be let go of and come to a new understanding in your ninth house when I look at this trine for you. And it looks like the sun in your fifth house. Remember, the sun is the ego. The sun wants to shine, right? And so letting go of something and coming to an understanding of something in your ninth house, opposing your fifth house, your sun. The fifth house is about your love affairs. The fifth house is about your creativity, what comes from your heart, what you see in your mind and have your passion for and bring out to the world. That's the creation part, not the action part, but the creation part. So, but it does have to do with love affairs. So maybe your belief is changing about how you want a relationship, and not just a romantic relationship, but all sorts of relationship, because Neptune is in your seventh house. So you're dealing with relationships. Now, if you've seen me before, you know that the seventh house, I have a stellium in the seventh house, which means you have three or more planets, so 4 planets. In my seventh house. So that means the seventh house is a mirroring effect. So the seventh house is like people coming into your world or standing in front of you, or situations and relationships coming to you, and you sort of understanding your boundaries, or why did I attract that? That's the seventh house. With Neptune in there, it's sort of helping you understand the beauty of relationships, of all types of relationships, not just romance. And really, with the ninth, the fifth, and the seventh, this is telling me that you're coming to, if you're single, you're coming to this place where your romance is coming, is like, it's not just a partnership, but it's actually being in love, right? And not just with the romance, but with all your relationships, with all your situations, your love with money, your love with work, your love with your life purpose, your love with family, your love with partners, your love with romance, right? So that's what I feel like is going to be going on with this trine for you, is that there are some things that you need to let go of that no longer serve you, that you understand you can't control, and that you sort of need to let that go so that you can receive these new situations, these new relationships, these new things that want to come in for you. Okay? Now, we do have the new moon in Scorpio on the 18th or 19th, depending on where you're from. And I'll do a video about that. But that the new moon is all about, like, where am I going? What am I doing? And so I feel like this is in preparation for that, because you have new relationships coming in. This is what I'm seeing for you guys, new relationships coming in. Okay, so I think I said everything about that. I wanted to say that Neptune is that faded stuff that comes through. Neptune rules like the different realms and your connection to source, to your higher self, to the angelic realms, if some of you say that. And it's the stuff that comes in that's faded. It's on your path. It's what you wanted to experience. It's what you wanted to do. And with it being in your seventh house, this is a relationship to me, because I don't think it's just one relationship, but the most important for you guys is this is a romantic and partnership relationship that's faded. So it's going to feel that way. And I feel like that Neptune's going to be in your house for a while. So I feel like that may not come in just, if it hasn't already come, it may not come in November, may wait till December, it may be 3 to 6 months. But I feel like this is where you're on path to have, is that faded relationship, that faded partnership that's coming in. So congratulations. It's kind of scary, but I think you're ready for it. And I think if you're not completely ready for it, this is what this is about, preparing you for that. You're on the right track to getting that. So I think that's what I wanted to say. Also, I wanted one more thing about Neptune, is it's going to protect, with this trine with the sun and the moon, Neptune is going to protect you. So if it's going to make it easier for you to be able to do what needs to be done to let go of what no longer serves you, right? It's going to get you to see the better part of it. So just understand that that's what Neptune is there for as well. So let's get started. I did a different spread, of course, because I'm a Gemini sun, so I have to change things up. But what I've done is, this is your emotional state, plus this is the stuff that's faded and can come from spirit, right, from your higher self. And then this is the physicalness, and this is the advice, and these are the actions that you can take. So this is past, this is present, and this is future. And by future, I don't like to tighten up the timeline too much, because this is such a big group, but I've said sort of to the end of November into, December. Now this card is your romance card, and this card is your financial card, okay? So let's get started. So in your recent past, or in your past, it looks like you were celebrating, you were in a better mood, you had some things coming in, maybe you met some people, maybe some things were coming through where you felt like you could breathe, you're coming to an understanding about your belief, because remember, your ninth house, you're just being more lighthearted, maybe projects and things that you'd worked on actually came through and you were like, yes. That's kind of what I feel like your state was in. And doing that, I feel like it had to do with whatever this news was. So this is the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is news that comes to you on an emotional level. And for a lot of you, I feel like that emotion is the lightheartedness, the celebration, the being able to smile and laugh again. So that's what happened in your recent past. And this, because it's general, I can see it as, some of it was love, romance, some of it was money, some of it was projects, some of it was work, some of it was family. I feel like a family a lot here. So the bigger energy is family, but it doesn't just have to be family that was happening here, that caused you with this news to get, rather happy, rather lighthearted. And that's like the perfect storm for you to open up your heart so that king, queen, or emperor, empress can come in, okay? So this is in your now. So now to me is now to 2 weeks. So I feel like, so this is your emotional state. I still feel like you're bonding with somebody. I feel like you're really understanding the connection between you and those around you. And that's not just people, that's situations, that's life purpose. It's a big life purpose for you guys. I'm feeling like, you know, your stability, your financial gain, or I just feel like you're really, really emotionally involved in this and it's making you happy. I do feel like that. So, their advice is, and this is what you're going to be doing if you're not doing this already, is the strength card. So the strength card is, she's a beautiful, I mean, I love her. And you see the triangle here. It's like she's very focused on her future and her now. Like she's able to be in both. Like I'm enjoying myself now and I'm focused on where I need to go, where I see this going, right? And so that's part of it. But the strength card is about you being that elegant, beautiful Virgo that you can be. I mean, sometimes you can have like no filter and tell people because they ask you the question, you tell them. I know because my South Node is in Virgo. So, plus I have the Sag moon. So sometimes I can be too blunt, right? Or back in the day, maybe not now so much. But I feel like you're understanding whatever's going on with you, and this can be in several areas of your life, you're understanding there's a way to get what you want that's going to be good for you and for those around you, and in a loving way, not being so manipulative. I'm not saying that you were before, but you know, it's not looking at it like you're being manipulative. It's looking at it like, you know what, if I do this, this helps me and it helps them. And how do I get them to do that? Because that benefits everybody, right? And so instead of telling people what to do because they'll shut down or they'll get defensive, you're coming to a place where you're understanding how to speak that, how to communicate that, how to maybe be the leader by doing and showing instead of telling them, right? And that's what I feel like you're going to be working on in the month of November with your relationships, with your situations, and with the issues that you're going through. I feel like you're coming to the space where you're understanding, you know, we can all have what we want. There's just got to be a better way for me to do this, to be able to communicate this so that everybody gets what they want, right? That's what I feel like you'll be working on in the month of November. Now, your future is the Temperance. So there is something that's really going on that you're wanting, that you've been seeing for a while. And for some of you, I see 18 months. For some of you, I see 8. I don't know why 8 is important, but I'm seeing that there are some things in your life that you're really wanting to bring forth, and you've been really quiet about it. You haven't told a lot of people. That's interesting. That's probably not for everybody, but I'm feeling that. Like you've been really quiet about it. So, like you kind of have been letting people think what they want to think and not really saying anything because you're like, you know, it's gonna happen anyway and it doesn't need to be said out loud for everyone to know. I don't know why that's coming to me, but it is. Okay, so I feel like whatever this is, it's been in your heart and your desire, because I'm looking at the fire here. It's like this passion that you have. And it doesn't just have to be romance. This is something that you really feel like you got to create and get done, right? So this is something that you're very passionate about. So I feel like towards the end of the month, you're going to be working on that. And I don't know if it's like, this is several things for some of you, but it's very passionate and you've held it close to your heart. You haven't told a lot of people. I don't know why that's important, but they keep saying that. You haven't told a lot of people. But just know that you'll be working on that. And they want me to show you, you're getting support from the universe. You are so connected to the angelic realm. I'm seeing that a lot. You're connected to the angelic realm, to that really fine vibration, and they're here to help you. They've been helping you all along. You're going to be receiving help from them. I feel like that's what this Neptune thing is about. Yeah. For some reason, they're showing, if you guys connect with angels, you can let me know in the comments below, but I'm feeling like you have this connection to angels and they're coming through to help. Like they've been helping all along, but they're actually bringing the manifestation forth. And I feel like not just, and I'll tell you how, because they're saying inspiration and courage. They're doing it through inspiration and courage and bringing it all together. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Okay, so the advice and the result of that is the Emperor. So I feel like for some of you, I'm going to say this for some of you because this is not everybody. For some of you, this is this person coming in. Now, if you've seen me before, you understand that I go by king, queen, emperors, and empresses, right? So an emperor is someone who is building dynasties. And when an emperor has his empress or wants somebody beside him, it's because he wants them there. It's not because he needs anybody there. It's because he wants to love someone and he wants to have a community and he wants to, actually, he's built his community, he's built his dynasty, and he wants love there. He wants to give that to somebody. He wants to have the connection and the beauty of love with him. Whereas a king needs someone to like help him be his backbone and sort of run the kingdom. The emperor built his own dynasty, but he built it with a community, and so he wants to share that with a love. So that's what I feel like. For some of you, this is this person coming in finally for you. For others of you, I feel like this is you building this community, building this dynasty, and really shining in like the month of December especially, but even some of you the end of the month of November. So I feel like financial things will come your way. I feel like the relationships coming your way. I feel like families coming your way. I feel like your community's coming together. And I feel like you're going to be standing there saying, wow, I've worked really hard for so long and this is really happening. This is really, really happening. So congratulations. Yeah, you should see evidence of that like at the end of November and into December. That's what I'm feeling. Now, where your romance, this is your romance card. So I know some of you can get really stubborn and really fixated and saying, no, this is the way I want it to be and it's got to be with this person and that's that, right? And so I feel like for some of you with this romance, this is the Four of Swords. You have done, this is their advice is you've done everything that you can in this situation. And there's no more that you can do. So you need to let it rest. And if that person's supposed to be with you, then they will. And by resting, that doesn't mean, well, I just won't talk to them. It means put your energy onto something else. Put your focus onto something else and let this lie, right? You will pick it up later if and when they decide to come to you. Because you've done everything that you can. That's what I'm feeling like for some singles. For other singles who don't have anybody that they're fixated on or focused on, or they're saying that that person hasn't come into your life yet because it wasn't time. And so you've done everything and they're very proud of you, and understand that that person is coming in. You just have to relax that energy. So focus on something else. And you never know the surprises that the universe has. You never know. You could be walking outside the door, bump into somebody, and that's the love of your life. You just never know. But you got to loosen up. You've done everything that you can in this situation, and you got to loosen up, okay? You got to smile, not just at everything, but at your love affairs too, okay? Now, for those of you that are partnered, I feel the same thing. If you've done everything possible to try to make this happen, if it's not happening, that's from your higher self. That's not them. That's from your higher self saying, you really, really don't want this. You've already experienced what you wanted, and there's something else that you're trying to experience, okay? Or your higher self could be saying, this is not about you controlling the situation. This is about you letting go and letting someone love you because they want to, the way that they want to, not the way that you are trying to make them do it, okay? I'm not saying this is for everybody, but I'm saying this as a scenario. Now, for others of you, I feel like there is, actually, I feel like both of you have done everything in the relationship. And so it's time to sort of relax that and focus on something else, because I feel like you're going to get inspired. Both of you are like going to find a way to come together. Yeah. I feel like when you relax it and focus on something else, all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is how it needs to work. Both of you do it, like together. And that bonds you, right? Okay. So good luck in the month. This will be happening in the month of November. So this is your financial card. This is their advice. So this, you have the Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands is about, I see my ship coming. I see the money. I see the finance. I see the stability coming. just seems like it's out of reach. So I'm going to sit here and wait, right? But their advice is, you know how when you, their advice is to lean into it. So often people, when they're manifesting or they're trying to manifest and they're using the law of attraction, which is just one law, you need to use all 12 laws. But when you're using the law of attraction and you're sort of waiting for that money to come through because you called it and blah, 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 I think people there's a misunderstanding where you think the money or the stability or whatever, the abundance that you've called to you has to come to you. What we don't understand is that we're ever flowing, ever moving, both energies, the money energy and us. And so it's not just coming to us, but we're going to it as well. We're both going to meet at this certain vibration. Does that make sense? We're both going to meet at this certain frequency where we're together and create. Does that make sense? So what they're saying with this card is lean into it, which means if an opportunity shows up, if you see news, if you hear news, if somebody says something and you're like, oh my God, maybe I need to do that. Like, take the action and do it, because it's about wands. So they're saying, accept those opportunities, even if those opportunities don't look like even if an opportunity comes in and you're like, I don't really know, that's just probably going to be more work than it's worth, right? Take that opportunity, because you can always say no later. But if you're giving your energy to something and your focus on something, then that's telling the universe, yes, I do want that. And you never know what that opportunity, if it turns into another opportunity. So they're saying financially, that's what's holding you back, is not taking the opportunity, not taking the action, not leaning into it, sort of holding it back. Because what you're doing when you say, oh, I'm just going to wait for it to come, is you're really holding it back. You're just like holding it. You're just like, oh, okay, I'll wait. That's what you're doing. But if you're in your now and you're aware and things come about and you hear news and you see something and somebody gives you an opportunity, you're like, that's leaning into it. That's putting energy into it. Okay? So that's their advice for your financial area. I mean, you have the dynasty, you have the emperor here, so you're right there. You're right there. And that's why you can see the ship coming in. So this last card I'm going to take from the bottom of the deck, and this is the overall outcome of what you'll be working through in the month of November. So you have the Page of Swords. That's delayed news. I don't know what news you're expecting to hear. It looks like some things are going to be delayed. And I have a feeling it has to do with this. Some of you are like, no, I know it's going to work. I know I'm going to do it. I know I'm going to do it. And that's going to delay it. They're asking you to relax the energy. That's what I'm feeling. Relax the energy so that it can come. Focus on something else so that that energy can come to you. Okay? Makes sense? For others of you, you do have someone coming into your life. This person can seem very gallant because they're a Page of Swords, but they give you inspiration to think outside the box. Okay? They're not here to stay. Like, they may give you an idea and they may start to collaborate with you, but they're not here to stay and collaborate throughout the project. They're just here to give you the idea, open your awareness up to thinking outside the box so that you can move forward in the things that you want. Okay, that's what I see for both, and that's what you'll be working through in the month of November. All right, my gorgeous Virgos, I love you, love you, love you. Thank you so very much for liking, for sharing, for subscribing, for commenting. And also thank you very, very much for growing this channel to almost 19,000 in less than 3 months. That's just crazy numbers. So love you, love you, love you. Have a wonderful November. Bye.